between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Larkin gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
If it's Tuesday evening, it must be racing evening. It is in the sim world, and a big welcome to Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic 1400 Esports Series, brought to you by the Virtual Reality Racing Club. I'm talking about Geoff Page. Who better to bring into the commentary box with me than the man himself, Geoff Page? Welcome along. Thank you so much for joining us, Geoff. Obviously, we get to chat at the circuits from time to time, and great pleasure to get to have you as a man with us in the commentary box this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Evening, Richard. Yeah, I mean, as I said off air, this is way out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to enjoy it, and I'll try my best to give it some pedigree and a few comments and opinions, maybe. We'll see how we get on.
I'll start by asking you a question. Have you seen any of the previous couple of rounds or any of it at all?
Yeah, I have. I've been keeping track of it. I must admit, my life, for various reasons right now, is fairly hectic, work-wise, so it kind of contradicts what I can do and what I can't do. And I like to keep track of everything, but I just can't.
No, you can. I know what you mean. It's the same with me. You know, I get a lot of drivers come to me and say, "Oh, did you watch such and such on YouTube?" and this, that, and the other. And if every driver I've met, if I sat and watched their championship, I still wouldn't have enough time, you know, to do anything else. You just can't keep up with stuff. But for the benefit of the viewer, we don't really get too much of a chance to talk to guests. We've managed to squeeze an extra couple of minutes, I think, in this evening. Tell the viewers, or tell me if you like. It's probably an easy way of doing it. A little bit about the company and your involvement in sport.
Well, I started racing in junior go-karts in 1976 at Fulbeck, which was my local track back there in Lincolnshire. And since from then till now, I've been involved in motorsport, more or less every level, from Formula 4 to Formula 1. I've done Le Mans sports cars, LMP1. The only thing I haven't really done is NASCAR or IndyCar. More or less everything else at an engine level, because you know, my specialist subject really is race engines, specifically turbo race engines.
Right.
And I've travelled around the world. I spent 18 years travelling around the world doing what I do. And then you get to a point in your life where enough's enough. I don't mind travelling nowadays, but no, I used to be 9 or so months of the year living out of a suitcase, laptop, passport, and away you go. And I would go more or less anywhere in the world with a day's notice, working for another engine company here in Essex, quite a famous engine company, I must admit. And David knew that, you know, he could trust me to go anywhere at the drop of a hat.
Is that the same company that built the Eurocar V8s, is it?
Yeah, I did. That was one of my projects there.
That one sort of keeps coming up now in sort of a little bit retro years ago, and that was one of my first gigs as well. But you know, they were some cars. That was some championship. Well, I thought the V6s number wise were better. I think it was a bit of pressure, wasn't there, put on to get the V8s out there, but they were absolutely mega cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was involved on the outside looking in with Barry Lee when they did the V6 thing with Alf Borer, Barry. I used to go with them, helping them at weekends and mechanicking, or, you know, basically cheering them on. I still talk to Barry quite a lot even these days. We're still very, very friendly. And I'll have to say Barry Lee hasn't changed from then till now.
No, he hasn't, has he? Well, maybe we'll have a talk about that a little bit later on. This is our round graphic. Round 3, 27th of January, and one of my favourite circuits actually to watch racing on and comment is Silverstone National, and we'll come to that in a minute with our hot lap. But championship wise, we are 2 rounds in, and with the drop score, which we kick off straight away, you can see that last week's winner was Gabriel Norse, who wasn't with us at the first round but entered for last week. Driver of the round, he tops the table. He's also getting spanked on ballast as well this week. Scott Bugner second after 2 weeks. Kieran Haynes third from Luke Cooper. Thomas Potter had a DQ last week, believe it or not, hence his drop score of 6. Jack Smith, who was unwell week 1, our multi-champion with VRRC, is 6. Chris Blakey next from Oliver Gibson. Andy Dorman and Lee Piercy wrapping up our top 10. So let's have a look. Just outside of that is Andy Carroll. Then Rich Hayden from Miles Ragg and Leon Frost. Leon a race winner in week 1. Paul Laramie next up from Kenny Press and Mason Turner. A lot of these names, even though we're getting down towards 20th place, have been up in the lead or up in the top 3 or 4, and that's how competitive this championship is. So Mason Turner 17th from Christian Gillian and Sam Walton. Alex Forster, another driver who is taking wins, is in 20th. Harry Irvin from Scotland is 21st, ahead of Cat Potter. And then Callum Enstone from Sam Gumbley and Dan Heaps, who had an absolutely miserable week last week, but I think he still scored more. No, he didn't score more than Thomas Potter, just 3 points for Daniel. But Daniel had a good week in Ireland at a sprint, so we'll talk more about that, I think, later on. George Harker wasn't with us last week, hopefully he's this week. Aidan Ingram is working hard to work his way through the field as well, as is Olavo Castro and Ollie Atkins. Sam Skellett is there on 3 points at the moment in 30th. So lots of drivers registered for the championship, and you can pair up and form teams, and it's the Andy Carroll and Scott Bugner team pairing that lead at the moment, from DK Power, Jack Smith and Oliver Gibson, with Swift Cooper, with Luke Cooper and Miles Ragg in 3rd place, Swift Cooper Jr., Kieran Haynes and Mason Turner in 4th, from Gabe Norse, who's running on his own in 5th place. Good effort from Gabe on his debut week. Chris Blake and Paul Laramie next. Then the VRRC sim race team of Lee Piercy and Rich Hayden. Lee quick in the practice session this evening. And then Fast and Faster, it probably should be Slow and DQ now. They're renamed from last week. Sorry, lads. They're 8th from Eden Garage Motorsport, and Leon Frost Racing. Leon on his own in 10th position in our team standings, which we'll keep an eye on as well. So that's the way the various points look. A little bit more detail about last week, certainly in terms of our top 3. It was 2 wins out of 3. The first driver to do that in the campaign so far, and that's Gabriel Norse, who took races 1 and 3, with Jack Smith winning race 2. Scott Bugner, though, was consistent. He took 2nd position on points on the round, as you can see, so silver medal position for him. And we had to give our driver of the round to Gabriel Norse. Stunning debut for him. But as we said, wasn't running last week with any ballast. That's going to make a big difference in terms of today, as he's got to get used to all that ballast on the car. The other drivers that all have ballast themselves. But before we get into our esports racing, let's have a look at the Real World Championship, which is upcoming. Starting on the 12th of April, Brands Indy. As we started, that's where the Real World Championship starts in April. I might see if I'm free to come along and watch that one. I don't think I'm working that weekend, but it's home.
To be honest, Richard, I'm going to try and do that myself with my Zeus Formula Ford.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that'll be good. That's definitely a good reason for me to come along then. So if I'm not working, I'll be coming along to watch. Then, as we did last week, Oulton International, Silverstone National next up. So you can see we try and replicate with the esports series, which is our new date there for Silverstone National. Donington National next up. From then we go to Snetterton in August. The September date is Anglesey International, which is, as you can see, a double header over 2 days. That's a great one to go to. And then we wind things up. I'm pleased to say I have been booked for the festival again this year, so really looking forward to the Formula Ford Festival, which includes the pre-82 feature races again, which was a really popular part of last year's festival. And no doubt Alan Bowles will be instigating the for us in the Kentigan again on Saturday night, and also the wonderful VRRC prize giving on Sunday evening as well, where we can share a sherbet and a few stories with some of the drivers and teams that we go. You can see Jack Smith on your screen now. Jack very kindly has recorded some hot laps for us, and he's about to give us a demonstration of a lap around Silverstone National. Jack available to tutor any of you esports enthusiasts if you need any tutoring, as he makes his way down to Copse Corner for the first time on the national circuit. You have to watch for track limits on the outside there. That's a big bugbear for any race formula here. Heading down towards Maggots, we've got the left-hand kink, which we get now, and then back through on the right. This, I suspect, is where it might get a little bit tasty between all of these cars on the reverse grid, making their way now down the straight under the bridge that brings the cars onto the inner paddock, and now coming down into the complex. Brooklands is the first corner that greets us, the left-hander. Some overtakes probably going to happen here. Whilst there are correct qualifying lines, racing-wise, you can pretty much go anywhere. You can drive around the outside or you can dive up the inside out of Woodcote, and it really just goes to show you what a very short lap this is, and an ideal for Formula Ford 1600 racing. So there we go, across the line, Jack Smith. Oh, goodness me, a 58 seconds for Jack Smith's hot lap. The practice times we were looking at earlier on were 9, so I'm guessing in qualifying that might well be the kind of we are looking for. And we're looking forward to race 1 this evening. I was talking about qualifying because we don't have qualifying. We have a partially reverse grid race, which is already underway. So apologies to everybody for me over-wittering at the start, but we are away, and it's Alex Forster who heads them away from Sam Walton and Mason Turner in third, Christian Gillian fourth from Kenny Press in these opening stages. A brief look there at Paul Laramie in the burgundy and green car, and we do have some shenanigans early doors, pretty much where I said we might have them. It's Forster and Turner who will be looking to try and get away with Lee Pearcey, who was very quick in the practice session that we had, not qualifying that we had earlier on, who is running well. So Pearcey in third place, and we ride on board. If you look at the timing tower, the name of Oliver Gibson highlighted. Oliver is the car that we're on board with, and Oliver up into 5th place and challenging Rich Hayden at the moment for 4th, which he gets around the outside. Lee Pearcey in front of him. Hayden goes back through on the inside though in red, white and blue. A frenetic and very quick opening lap, Alan Bowles, and we did sorry Geoff, we did expect some problems, Geoff Page, didn't we, on the first lap, but they largely sorted themselves out.
Yeah, it was a good clean start, but as you said, you know, they're gonna come together pretty well at Maggett/Beckett's on the first lap, and that's exactly what happened.
Alex Forster, the race leader at the moment, has done well in whatever championship he has taken part with us. We're looking down, it's Miles Ragg in third place, who's the first of the non-VRRC regulars, so it'd be good to see Miles up on a podium. I haven't had an interview with him yet, so hoping that we get the chance to do that. Thomas Potter, after a disappointing last week, is down in 10th place. Forster clear though. As we were saying last week, had Tom Hawkins on co-commentary with us last week. If you can break away, it could be very difficult for drivers to close in. But it's Forster, Pearcey and Ragg 1, 2 and 3. Oliver Gibson in 4th place. Rich Hayden 5th from Luke Cooper, who's coming up well. Little stat for you here, because, Geoff, I love me stats. The only man to finish all 6 races in the top 10 so far is Luke Cooper. And we're looking back from Luke now, and he's a real star of Formula Ford 1600 racing, Luke Cooper.
Yeah, he's going well, isn't he? But as you say, you know, pulling that gap on the first lap or so, that's going to be difficult to drag it back in again. I see it's a 2.4 second lead at the moment, and you know, he's going really well. He must have done a lot of testing and got his setup just right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, he's doesn't matter what you put Alex Forster in, he is very, very quick indeed. Real world racer now. He joined us as a teenager for the first time last season, had a couple of outings. His dad, a noted racer as well in club circles. We were looking with Luke Cooper, Miles Ragg 5th, Leon Frost was behind him, and Chris Blakey. Gabriel Norse is in 9th place, so Gabriel coming through well. Scott Bugner down in 14th at the moment. They're the 2 hot shoes championship-wise. Norse leading the championship from Bugner. Kieran Haynes next up as well. Kieran's down in 11th, so we've got Norse, Thomas Potter and Kieran Haynes all pretty much together. And worth keeping on them points-wise, as we've got a potential pass here. Miles Ragg looking on the inside of Gibson, gets the move done on the inside, does Miles Ragg. Super stuff, totally different feel. Silverstone National to Oulton Park. There's so much more space, isn't there, at Silverstone?
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of space at Cops. As you said earlier, you know, track limits is always going to be a problem there, but Formula Ford racing open wheel, you know, it's aggressive, it's fast, and it's exciting for everybody.
Here's Gibson trying to make it exciting himself now. So coming down the straight into Brooklands, he's keeping it tight at the moment. He'll need a little bit more room to get in to the left-hander, and it's Luke Cooper who tries to go around the outside of him. The blue and white Swift Cooper cars are there. Luke down behind him at the moment. And working hard. He's got Gabriel Norse right with him as well in the white and red car. I'd forgotten what Gabriel's livery was. We were coming into the event, but no mistaking that car. Now you can see 2 cars back in the mirror. Forster's still there, 1.82 seconds clear of Lee Pearcey. Good to see Lee again on form. Very quick is Lee Pearce. He's had, let me see, 1, 2, 3 top 10 finishes, and the other one's not too far outside of the top 10. So it's been a very good, fast, consistent scorer, Lee Pearce, and that will put him in good stead for the championship standings as we head through the rounds. We go Donington Park next week, Snetterton, Anglesey, as you saw, Silverstone GP, Brands Hatch GP to wrap things up. Brands Hatch Indy to wrap things up. We started on the GP course as we focus on Leon Frost at the moment. Thomas Potter's got through into 8th. The gap has come down to 1.6 now. Forster to Piercy. Lovely side-on shot there of Gabriel Norse looking at Oliver Gibson. Norse, though, running with maximum ballast, 10 kg, and he's got a lot of work to do here. Gibson running with 6, so he's got a fair amount of ballast to deal with as well. But Gabriel Norse coming in with this extra ballast, he's doing a good job here, Geoff.
Yeah, Pierce, he's dragged a 3/4 second out of Foster in one lap, so he's going well. I don't know what the situation is with tyre temperature, tyre pressures here, but I'm assuming that tyre pressures are adjustable, and therefore somebody's got the sweet spot there, down to 1.38 second lead, so he's pulling him in.
He is pulling him in as we look at Gabriel Norse in 7th place. These positions are toing and froing. They're not really doing themselves any big favours dicing with each other, but I guess they have to at the moment. The question is, anyone could do a Jason Smith here and work their way through from quite a way down, as Jason did in the Walter Hayes Trophy, one of the most remarkable races, the double winner this year, Hayes and Formula Ford Festival final winner. Shame we couldn't have twisted his arm to come and have a go with us.
Did he start 14th on the grid for the final?
Yeah, spot on, Jake. That was it, yeah. Yeah,
that
incredible.
Was a fantastic race. Absolutely one of the best Formula Ford races I've seen for 20 years.
And what was nice from my point of view was the fact that he, is making the move up the ladder, going slicks and wings. And there was a fair bit of fanfare about it, quite rightly so, that we've got a youngster coming out of Formula Ford 1600, moving up into slicks and wings, moving up into GB4. Is it GB4 or GB3? But anyway, into one of the GBs and making that move. But as I say, the fanfare was very well deserved, and I think Matt James led the charge on that from Motorsport News. So well done, Matty, for picking up on that. That was good news. But the gap.
I think he tested GB4, didn't he, at Donington?
Yeah.
If I remember right, and went really well straight out of the box. So he's going to be somebody to watch this year in that formula.
I think with Douglas Motorsport, I really miss seeing Douglas Motorsport. There's a lot of teams that used to be on the touring car package with us, who move on and do other things, and I miss those guys because they were a superb team to be around when they were doing Ginetta Juniors with us on the package, and when Ginetta moved out, they moved out as well, but doing superb stuff in single seasons at the moment. Doing good stuff here as well. The gap's down to 2/10. Battle for the lead on, and our race director Steve has picked up on that. So Piercy has caught up with Forster. We know that Piercy is a challenger, Geoff Page. He is going to have a go.
Well, we're now into slipstreaming situation, aren't we? Which will be really good when we get onto Wellington Straight. We'll see who's the brave one at the end into Brooklands.
Indeed. So Lee Piercy chasing Alex Forster. Rich Hayden down in 3rd. I haven't said a lot about Rich at the moment, but he is having a good run. Miles Ragg in 4th from Gabriel Norse and Luke Cooper, Thomas Potter. All those drivers fighting it out over the championship points, and Piercy is having a good go. All sorts of different lines being explored. He knows he's got the pace over Alex Forster, but Alex is not easily rattled, to be perfectly honest. And where are we? We're not even at the halfway stage yet. That Forster made the most of getting away from that front row start. Built a good lead. Piercy's got his head down and closed in. Fastest man on track is Oliver Gibson, a little way back. As we watch Forster and Piercy. Forster runs wide. Piercy's through on the inside. Goes through into the lead. Tiniest mistake from Forster there. And Lee Piercy did what he was threatening to do over that last lap or so. But there's a fight back here from Alex Forster, who was having a look. Can't quite get back in at the moment. But I'm guessing Alex will now learn, because this is the first driver he's been able to follow, isn't it, in the race. So he might learn from following now and have a go back.
Well, let's hope again. I'm a big believer of the slipstreaming situation, especially in Formula Ford, and the people that can do it are really good. It'll be interesting the next few laps.
So heading out of Brooklands into Luffield, and Alex Forster. Well, the gap's come down to Rich Hayden. So Rich Hayden in 3rd, behind him is closing up, and Rich is a little bit of a spot on the horizon in the rear view mirror graphic that we can see, with Miles Ragg not too far behind him. Luke Cooper in 5th, Leon Frost 6th, Gabe Norse in 7th place from Kieran Haynes. Kieran Haynes, remember, 3rd in the championship. So we've got all of the big hitters there or thereabouts. Leon Frost getting stuck in as well, and the 2 Swift Cooper drivers right in the mix as well. Gabriel Norse having a go too, looking to try and climb a little bit further up the order. Luke Cooper now up into 5th place momentarily and drops back into 6th with Leon Frost back ahead of him. Just having a quick look, Thomas Potter down in 11th. Andy Dorman's come up into the top 10 as well, so Andy running well. Kieran Haynes has come through into 9th place. Race winner from the first event of the season. Was on the podium in race 1 last time out as well with Leon Frost, but it's Piercy 1.3 seconds clear now of Alex Forster as Scott Bugner, second in the championship, tries to get around Luke Cooper. That's a little bit of a battle to watch here, which is why Steve, our director, has picked it up. Scott Bugner through on the inside, and Luke Cooper will try and follow him, but yeah, Scott's been a real man on form. I don't think was gone.
Looking at Scott's line, he's obviously knows the circuit now, doesn't he? He's holding his line and driving really nicely, really smooth.
Yeah, I think he was frustrated.
He's not even using the extra bit of the track, is he?
No, he's keeping it well on, actually, to be honest, doing a good job. But so too, it's Luke Cooper. That was Formula Ford knowledge, wasn't it, Geoff?
That is Formula Ford through and through, absolutely, 100%.
Let's see what Scott can do now. So he's on the wide line. Luke, if he keeps it tight, will maybe give him room. I don't suppose he'll really want to do that on the inside, but we'll see how this pans out. We can't see Luke to the side at the moment, so we go back to the outside shot, and Scott Bugner tries to break and get around the outside. He holds the inside line, but Luke Cooper gets the position back. Yeah, really good stuff. Not good in terms of them wanting to get further up, because they are by definition slowing each other up by dicing, which is not good for 7th and 8th place. Leon Frost and Gabe Norse up ahead of them, and here we're looking at Thomas Potter and Andy Dorman. Thomas Potter, who we used to hail as our youngest driver in the championship, that is now with Kieran Haynes. But Thomas looking to put a disappointing evening from last week behind him and trying to get on terms with Andy Dorman. This is to get into 9th place for Thomas Potter. We're used to seeing him a lot higher up. He's got Chris Blakey behind him as well in black and yellow. In fact, Blakey makes the move, goes through. So Chris Blakey having a good run, the real world BMW driver coming through. Callum Enstone having a good run here as well. I think that is in terms of the colouring. Let's just pick that out. So Potter ready to have another go back. Piercy's got the gap out over Forster, 2.47 seconds out front. Rich Hayden now just 3/4 of a second behind the second place man, as Potter tries to get himself back into the top 10. It's the top 20 that get reversed for the grid for race 2, and at the moment 20th position is Mason Turner with Paul Laramie in 19th. Caden Cook trying to get into the top 20, and it'd be nice to see Caden get the chance for a character building run off the front in race 2. Nice to see we've got the numbers on the front of the car now as well, as we look at Miles Ragg in P4. As you can see, Miles not that far behind Rich Hayden in the white nose, blue-sided red trim car, trying to close him down. So Miles looking for a podium here. Rich Hayden hasn't had a podium with us yet, trying to close in. So this is for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The red and white car out front of this group is Alex Forster, but Lee Piercy in good form at the moment, Geoff, and doing everything he needs to do with 7 minutes left on the clock. Would you say that's in the bag, or is that curse of the commentator and curse of the co-coms?
I would say definitely curse the commentator. We need to not get involved in that. I mean, Alex is going to have his mirrors full very shortly of Richard Hayden, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for the next lap or two. Again, he's in a perfect slipstreaming situation, because we're coming up to the Wellington Straight very shortly, and we'll see how we get on. See, you know, it's all getting a bit aggressive now, which is again Formula Ford racing, which is what I like. Yeah, my previous younger generation of Geoff, I was quite well known for being quite an aggressive driver. But as you get a bit older, you get a bit more steady and a bit more relaxed into it. But yeah, years gone past, it was always a bit of a problem.
Rich Hayden makes it through up into P2 with a lovely move, textbook move down the inside into Brooklands. And now Alex Forster, barring any big problems, Alex Forster's on for his best result of the campaign. This is race 7 of the campaign. and his highest finish was 8th so far. So if he can't hang on for a podium, a 4th place will be a best result as well. He runs a little bit wide there. Miles Ragg's getting good momentum out of Woodcote, and he's going to look on the inside as they go into Copse Corner to try and get P3, which he does. So Alex Forster, shame to see Alex off the podium, but he'll try and fight back again. It's been a good strong drive from him, but Gabriel Norse is in 5th place now, so it's Norse in 5th, Leon Frost in 6th place. Forster's fighting back. Miles Ragg hasn't got that podium sorted out just yet, and he'll probably want P2 if he can get it off Rich Hayden. But Forster is, I think, finding a bit of level here, fighting back well, isn't he?
Yeah, no, it's like I say, it's all very, very close, and you know, these guys are really good at what they're doing at the moment. I see pretty well all the time. It's very, very smooth lines, very, very smooth driving, not too much oversteer. When they are in oversteer situation, everybody keeps their cool, and it's really, really good.
Rich Hayden's keeping his cool at the moment, looking to try and get his first visit for the podium interviews, with Lee Piercy ahead of him, still side by side for that 3rd place Rag there at the moment. Alex Forster, this is great stuff from him, trying to get back in. Gabriel Norse will hope that they will dice even more so that he can get a shout out of the podium with 4 minutes to go. That is a possibility. Hayden 4 seconds behind Piercy at the moment, but there is Alex Forster, who goes down the inside and having a go again. This is very early notice perhaps of someone that might be in line for consideration for driver of the round. If he does this sort of thing in races 2 and 3, then Alex Forster, when you post a best result, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for, as well as perhaps overall race winners. That remains to be seen, but Forster really giving us a good run here. He's going to hang it out on the outside, can't quite go through. Miles Ragg having to defend very well indeed there, and Ragg is doing that. But look now, Gabriel Norse, the championship leader, is right on their tail. So we've got just under 4 minutes to go. Norse has come right the way through the championship leader to being with a shout of a podium here. This is again Walter Hayes Festival stuff, isn't it, from Norse?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just trying to get his head down and keep going, try and be as smooth as possible. Obviously a slipstreaming situation again, a bit of grass. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's all good fun. Might be interesting to understeer here, but yeah, he's there.
And that's maximum ballast on that car. Gabriel Norse, he's taken his time. That is, I've said it about some of the star drivers we've had in our previous series, you know, hasn't done a rash opening lap. He's paced himself and he's picked away because he knows that's the way that you get the places and the points. So stunning stuff from Gabriel Norse round the outside with that maximum ballast. I mean, one would suggest that he's going to keep that ballast right the way through the entire series if he carries on like that. The former Ginetta Junior Esports Series champion. Super stuff. Up into 3rd place. Forster still in 4th. He's ahead of Miles Ragg. Cracking race between the pair of them, and Forster trying to have a go back at him to get back in terms, but it's Lee Piercy still down the road. 3 seconds now the gap. So Rich Hayden closing up a little bit. With Lee has maybe had a little bit of a glitch, as Ragg and Leon Frost now getting stuck in with each other as well. Leon Frost comes through into 6th place. So this is all very close between these two.
Yeah, very, very close, you know. Again, all credit to both drivers because it's so easy to touch wheels here.
It is. I mean, I'll tell you what, given the number of cars that we've got and reverse grid racing, we've seen some very good driving standards in this opener. There was a little bit of play in the first couple of corners, but that was to be expected, really, as they get very close indeed right behind us. Frost and Ragg still getting stuck in. Looking back from Alex Forster, still in 4th place. Going to be gutted not to be on the podium, but it's Piercy, Hayden and Norse on the podium at the moment. 1:54 to go as they cross the line, so I reckon we've got 2 more laps to go here.
Yep. Back to, we're down to 1 minute and 40 seconds, so, but it's very, very close. Very, very close.
Chris Blakey the fastest lap at the moment.
It's so, you know, so much like real world racing. You know, it's they're trying so hard. I'm very surprised that there isn't more wheel-to-wheel contact. A bit of a track limits there possibly, but not to worry.
It makes a difference, I think, having Ian Danaher looking after things, because I think everybody's got used to that idea, and it is lovely if, you know, if anyone's watching this with their own championship, bring your own clerk of the course along, because it gives the VRRC drivers, the ones that aren't racing in the real world, a chance to experience what it is like to race with a real world clerk looking after things. We had it in the mini championship as well for both of their series that we had with us. And as I say, we're grateful that Ian Danaher, courtesy of Alan Bowles, has come along and done this one as we go on to what should be the last lap now with Lee Pearcey 3.6 seconds clear of Rich Hayden. Gabriel Norse is 2 seconds down. I think Gabe's going to be happy with the podium here. Actually, won't be overly happy with third. He'll have wanted second or first now. And Scott Bugner, I think, got involved there and got sideways. There was contact. Bugner down in 9th place with Luke Cooper, who's dropped away a little bit in this one. Geoff, so some important points going there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Scott, you know, that was, again, it all gets very close, doesn't it? And yeah, but I think Lee's obviously got this in the bag. He's driven such a smooth race, hasn't been flustered, didn't suffer from the commentator's curse, which is good. Yeah, and you know, Alex Foster, he's driven a good race as well, without doubt.
Yeah, some really good performances to take here. Clock is down, so we will see a checker for our race winner. Lee Pearcey wins his first race of the campaign. By no means his first race win with VRRC. We're used to seeing him do that. Rich Hayden gets the first podium. Gabriel Norse, the championship leader, has done his. Well, what can we do to stop him coming through from the back of the field? Not a lot is the answer, I think, there. Third position for him. Alex Forster, a fine 4th position for Alex from Leon Frost and Miles Ragg. Andy Dorman 7th from Jack Smith. Quiet points for Jack Smith there, with Chris Blakey next. Thomas Potter getting into the top 10. Kieran Haynes and Callum Enstone next. There was Callum Enstone coming through. Scott Bugner down in 13th from Paul Laramie and Oliver Gibson. Then it was Ollie Atkins in 16th from Mason Turner and Andy Carroll. Cat Potter in 19th, our lone lady racer from Luke Cooper in 21st. Caden Cook next from Sam Walton. Harry Irvin. I think the rest of them are still coming across the line. The rest should include Daniel Heaps, John Jones, Robert Shepherd, Christian Gillian and John Billingsley, who's been having a bit of coaching, I believe, from Alan. So that's our rundown of our races that are here this evening, and we're going to take a quick break and have our first podium interviews in just a minute or two.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
The Geoff Page Engineering Super Classic Formula Ford 1600 Esports Series running up until the first week in March, and the first driver we get to talk to is the one we spoke to I think the most last week, Gabe Norse. Gabe, welcome to the podium. What a drive that was coming through. How are you this evening? And yeah, many congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, just got a bit of a cold at the moment, but yeah, that race was quite good. I was able to make up ground quite quickly, and then I worked with Leon a bit throughout that race, just able to claw at the gap to third. So yeah, overall not too bad of a race.
I always feel guilty as a commentator, Gabe, by, you know, sort of like last week saying, oh, you know, you haven't got any ballast, and I can sort of redress the balance this week by saying you actually spanked on ballast now. You got 10 kg, but did you test with that? I mean, is it something? I mean, obviously you're quick whatever we throw at you, and that's just really set the benchmark, isn't it, for the guys?
Yeah, I tried to test as much as I could with 10 kg because otherwise I just felt like it would be a bit pointless. But yeah, no, I feel like the ballast, although it slowed me, it hasn't hampered me as much as I thought it would. So yeah, overall I'm quite happy with it.
It's a cracking drive, and you know, so it certainly gives the regulars food for thought, but it's something that you probably wouldn't have to do in Formula Ford racing, because obviously you're going to be starting at the front. if you qualify on pole. So that element is a little bit different for virtual reality racing. But for you, it's a continuous theme. And assuming that you stay in the lead of the championship, and assuming that you keep winning races and getting podiums as you're doing, it's a lot of hard work, isn't it, for you through the campaign?
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to maintain the lead with the amount of ballast that we have. But yeah, I think just need to keep on clawing at it, and as long as we stay on top and keep on doing those decent drives through the field, then should be able to stay at the sharp end.
How much in a reverse grid race, you know, when cars are, I ask this question a lot, and I make no apology for doing that because different drivers have different approaches, but how much is there in your head that, yeah, I need to maybe just sort of temper what I'm doing the first couple of corners or first couple of laps and then start picking away? Is that the approach, or is it, you know, in that case, was there a few gaps that opened for you?
I feel as though if I start quite strong and make quite a few places at the start, then it gives me a lot better of a leap through the field than it does for a lot of my competitors. And so I just kind of try and get through the field as quick as possible, because then I can start to work on the lead and see if I can get into the lead and build a gap. I
mean, it looked like a nice measured drive to me, a champion's drive, certainly in terms of anything I've seen with VRRC over the months that I've been working with them. So good to have you on the podium. A great way to start your evening off, and we'll just say good luck for races 2 and 3.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done, mate. Gabriel Norse, championship leader in P3. We move on to two drivers we haven't spoken to on the podium, I think, so far in this campaign. First of which is Rich Hayden, Mr. VRRC himself. How are you, Rich?
I'm not too bad, thanks very much.
I'm sorry for your loss the last couple of days.
Thanks, mate. That second place was for Rhea.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, nice one, mate. Yeah, we're really sad. That's never a nice thing, but a P2 is. Piercy checked out though, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got the measure of this car around here, hasn't he? I mean, he used to race Formula Fords as well back in the day. So you know, he's pretty quick in these. So yeah, I realised I wasn't going to be able to catch him, so I just tried to get my head down and make progress.
Progress indeed. It wasn't easy, was it, getting past the likes of Alex Forster had a good run in that one. So you know, we see. I said on the grid, you know, anyone in the top 20 is capable of podiums or wins now.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very, very close. I mean, the timings in practice for this round have been so close. It's been unreal. But yeah, it's overtaking's quite difficult. You know, you get slightly offline, and if you get any slide on these cars, it really bleeds the speed off. So it's just trying to be as neat as you can and you know, get the throttle down at the right point.
What parts are you enjoying about this?
This track or this car?
Both.
Do you know what? I love the car. It's fantastic. It's really, even though, like I said, you can, if you get a slide on, you can lose quite a bit of time. It's very catchable. So going through Cops, I had a couple of sideways moments going through there that bled off some speed, but it was really easy to catch. So I was quite pleased on that. The track's great. Obviously, there's quite a significant slipstream effect on this track, which helps when you're overtaking, but you just got to get in the right place at the right time to make hay on it.
I think the campaign, I mean, obviously we're sort of mirroring the real world championship, and you can see why the real world championship does what it does. You know, we start at Brands, which is you know, for me, the home of Formula 4. We had Oulton, which is a great races track. Silverstone, different again, but again, great racing.
Yeah, it's really good racing. So, you know, and fortunately the driving standards have been pretty good. So that's always positive for me.
We were talking about the curse of the commentator. I think you just put the curse of the podium on.
No, they've been pretty good, you know, considering the amount of cars we've got on track and the different skill levels from, you know, the super quick guys to, you know, people like myself who are not so quick. It's been really good standards. So I'm really pleased with how everybody's racing.
Okay, Rich. Well, nice one. Well done on the podium.
Thanks, mate.
And we'll raise a glass to Rhea a little bit later on.
Thank you.
Good luck for races 2 and 3, mate.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
And on to Chris Blakey. Chris, congratulations. I didn't know you'd done Formula 4. Tell us about that. It's Lee. Sorry, why I'm looking at Chris Blakey. Lee Piercy. Apologies. Lee, congratulations on the win. Tell us. I didn't know anything about Formula Ford history.
Thank you. Sorry, I did send Rich a message. My wife wasn't very well midway through that race, and I just had to run up the house and sort my kids out and fly back. And I didn't think I was going to get back to talk to you, but I've made it back. But
well,
yeah,
we wish her well. Obviously,
it's all going on. So yeah, midway through that race, I had my kids on my lap, the dog in the sheds, and everything else going on. So that it was,
and then me calling you Chris Blakey.
yeah. Yeah.
It's because Chris is on the top of the thing for the next race. That's my excuse.
Okay.
Into it. But there we go. But yeah, tell us about your Formula Ford experience.
Yes, that was 24 years ago now. So
What did you race?
So I actually did the junior Formula Ford in I think it was year 2000 and 2001. I think it was. So yeah, actually the first season I finished second in the championship, and then. Yeah, the second season we had a bit of bad luck. I fell out of a loft at work and broke my arm, and we had some car problems and stuff, so it didn't quite go to plan. But yeah, so that was. But they were the 1800 Van Diemen's back then. Who were you up against? Are there any names that might sort of, ping out at us? So who do we have? So who I used to race with was Catherine Legg, who still races.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So I karted with her as well. We was in the same team at go-karting. Matthew Gilmore was the guy who won the championship the first year. Luke Hines was in there with me. Who else?
Some good names.
Daniel Lloyd. I think Daniel Lloyd's out in IndyCar still. I'm not sure. Yeah. So yes, and obviously in the main class at the time was sort of like James Courtney and people like that were around. So
yeah.
Good times. Good times, yeah.
Fantastic racing, and you were on it during practice, so I think we weren't surprised to see you come through, and very consistent over the course of the campaign as well. I think only very tight on the points, and you've got to be consistent, haven't you, in this?
Yeah, last week I think if I didn't have any bad luck, I wouldn't have had any luck at all. But I kind of knew Oulton Park was going to be a bit like that. It was a bit of a lottery. But yeah, so lap times wise here, so me and Chris Blakey was just messing around actually last Tuesday night after we'd finished racing, and I set a time and it stuck all week. So it was a fair play to Chris. He gave me a tow round, so it was quite funny actually. He was waiting all week for someone to beat it. So I think I'd looked better on the times than I actually was, but so I've done a bit of practice But I think, the way that race just went, I think the right people fell off in the right places in front of me. And weirdly, because I wasn't concentrating too much, because the kids were talking to me, it seemed to go better. So I better get the kids back down here for race 2. Yeah, I think so. I hope your missus is okay, mate. Well, thanks for chatting to us, and hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later on. Well done, Lee. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Congratulations. Lee Piercy, our race winner, hasn't got too long to get things sorted out. Sounds like we've got a few issues that need dealing with up and down with different people, but good to hear from those. Geoff Page, who joins us in co-commentary, and another reverse grid with Luke Cooper on pole, Catherine Potter alongside. So Luke here should make some hay, I think, with this one, we hope.
Yeah, without doubt, this is going to spice it up with reverse grid. I think the first lap is going to be exciting, and there's likely to be some contact somewhere because less experienced drivers towards the front, and it's going to make it interesting and difficult for the faster guys towards the back to come through. But I'm sure the Lee Piercys and the Alex Fosters are going to be there or thereabouts after about 5 or 6 laps.
I think they will be. Going to be interested to see how Kat Potter does in this one. She's in the pinky purple car, which you can see on the front rank. So she lines up P2. Luke Cooper, I don't know what happened in race 1, but hopefully we'll get a podium out of him. And maybe it'd be lovely to see Kat Potter get a podium here as well, I've got to say. Andy Carroll, though, will have other things to say about that. He starts P3 with Mason Turner 4th, Ollie Atkins and Oliver Gibson on the 3rd row, followed by Paul Laramie and Scott Bugner. So you've got to say some very quick drivers right in the mix, right up at the sharp end. And it's Luke Cooper that gets a good start here from Kat Potter. Kat's going to try and look up the inside as they go into Cops for the first time. In fact, Kat does have her nose in front. Luke Cooper getting a bit bogged down, showing 3rd on the timing tower at the moment. So Kat Potter chasing Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll in the lead car right now. Cat Potter in third. Mason Turner is next up. Dive around the outside there from Luke Cooper to go up into P2. And we get a spinner there. Is that Luke going back? It's Miles Ragg, I think, dropping back. Alex Forster dropping back as well. But Andy Carroll, the race leader, again, the contact could have been worse on lap 1. That's no consolation for those who have had it. Christian Gillian's involved, Harry Irvin. Gabe Norse has had a little bit of contact as well. So Gabe's going to have to do a fair old recovery exercise here, as we've got Scott Bugner in 5th place chasing Ollie Atkins at the moment. So a little bit of drama we could probably have done without. Luke Cooper down in 6th. I thought Luke was going to disappear off into the distance from pole in this one.
Well, that was a really good, clean start. Shame there was a bit of contact, but it was, again, to be expected on turns 2 and 3. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's so close, like I say. So close. Unbelievable.
It very much is at the moment. So Carroll, the race leader, Cat Potter, doing well. This is difficult for Cat because she, sometimes gets into the reverse grid section, and when she does, it's all about building her confidence, about staying at the front and having to dice with these front runners that are crawling all over her at the moment. And she's got Scott Bugner right behind her as well at the moment. In fact, Scott in yellow looking down the inside with the 22 car of Luke Cooper trying to come through as well. So Scott Bugner up into 4th, Cooper into 5th, Cat Potter now down into 6th place. Miles Ragg coming up to try and join the party as well. But Catherine Potter doing a decent job of hanging on in the top 8 at the moment, with Andy Carroll 1.39 seconds clear of Oliver Gibson. Gibson will be a man to watch, and I'm pleased to say this is one championship where we're seeing consistency in the reverse grid races. We're seeing drivers come through, like Luke Cooper now, diving up the inside of Scott Bugner, and they look like there was a little bit of a bump between the two, a wee bit of contact maybe between the two there. As this one carries on, we've got Bugner on the outside. There is Paul Laramie in 9th place, Gabe Norse down behind him. Norse, who was involved, flashed up with contact on the screen on lap 1, but he's there in 10th place at the moment, chasing Paul Laramie. There is Paul. So Gabe Norse again looking for points here. Probably a 4th or 3rd in each race would probably be enough for him as he tries to deal with Cat Potter. Meanwhile, back to Scott Bugner trying to go through. So it's Andy Carroll from Oliver Gibson, Ollie Atkins in 3rd place ahead of this group. So big sort out. And the point I was coming back to, Geoff was really saying about the fact that the reverse grid races are throwing up different winners from time to time, as Ollie Atkins is about to be passed by Scott Bugner.
Well, it's the same old story, isn't it? Like we said earlier, if you can pull a gap on the first lap, then it's because the other guys behind you tend to be dicing with each other. They're slowing each other down, which is exactly what's happening right now.
Oh, Luke Cooper read that well. Now he's got Ollie Atkins coming back on the inside now as they go through Beckett, and Ollie Atkins slides his way through. Goes up on the inside now. Has he managed to clear the line, or is Luke Cooper there going to grab the inside as they come down into Brooklands? So down the Wellington straight, Cooper's a little way back. He might be able to get him on the brakes. He'll go in hard here as they go 3 wide. Thomas Potter's come from nowhere as well in the turquoise and black car. You can see just to the right of your screen there. So Potter fighting his way through has come through, but still only in 7th place at the moment, with Andy Carroll leading from Oliver Gibson, who's closing up out front, less than a second between 1st and 2nd place. Gibson getting the fastest lap on that one, getting the bit between his teeth now with Luke Cooper in 3rd. We'll see whether Luke can close down, but he's got 3 seconds, Luke Cooper, to close down, with Scott Bugner behind him, then Ollie Atkins, and that big fight going on behind them. Fastest lap of the race with Andy Carroll still at the moment. Let's just refresh my timing screen, see whether that's the case. No, refresh it. It was Ollie Gibson as they went through last time out. And Scott Bugner here has got to defend for all he's worth in yellow. Probably not the best position to be in. He'd probably prefer to get his head down and get away.
Yeah, it's not a good position being the front of the pack at the beginning of the straight, because they're going to pounce all over him, aren't they?
They will. Scott 13th in race number 1. And yeah, really got his handful here at the moment. Luke Cooper looking to maintain his top 10 finish record at the moment. Neat in the Sarnie at the moment is Luke Cooper, with Miles Ragg looking around the outside and going up into 3rd place around the outside of Scott Bugner. So Scott, as Miles tries to hang on to that 3rd place, really great fight between these guys, but they're going to lose out to Gibson and Carroll. 3/10 between those, and this is how close it is at the moment. So we look back and it's looking back at Luke Cooper, still trying to deal with Scott Booker. We've got Paul Laramie.
That's a fantastic camera shot. Absolutely fantastic. It's a shame we can't get this in real world Formula Ford.
Yeah, it is. It can be done, but it costs an absolute fortune for live coverage, believe you me. But yeah, we could, if we were doing post-production, we could have it all the time. If you were recording and then editing programs for later transmission, that's definitely a thing that can be done. But yeah, that was a super shot, wasn't it? Because we were on board looking back from Battle of Three at another Battle of Three as we go to Oliver Gibson. This is the battle for the lead now. Andy Carroll has been caught by Ollie Gibson, and Oliver outperforming his brother at the moment. I don't know if Jack is poorly again. Jack Smith down in 22nd place, having a little bit of a struggle with the Formula Fords at the moment, and maybe the opening lap. So with him being not around for round one at Brands Hatch, he's really on the back foot points-wise, as Andy Carroll is on the back foot now, looking at Ollie Gibson right behind him. And we've got, racing for the lead, as we had in race one. That is what Formula Ford is all about.
Yeah, I wonder if we've got a rear view camera from Andy Carroll's car. That would be interesting right now.
Yep, that will be... I think that will be doable by Steve, our race director. We're looking ahead as well because we've got some traffic coming up for the race leaders as well. We're looking back a little bit further. Gabe North's about to put a move here on Paul Laramie. Good spot by our director to pick that up. North again doing what he did in race number one. Made up a few places in the opening laps. Remember, has come through from the back of the top 20 up now into 7th place, picking them off one by one. He's got one of the VRRC young stars, Thomas Potter, immediately in front of him now. So Norse, with maximum ballast, really commanding this field at the moment in terms of points and places gained, which is going to be key and certainly not help his ballast situation later on. Fastest lap now with Luke Cooper. Luke's on the move, and here is that view that you were asking for, Geoff. A look back from the race leader.
Yeah, that's a fantastic shot. Like I say, I wish we could see this in real world. So excited, look at this. Absolutely fantastic.
Oliver Gibson down the inside and into Brooklands. Gibson going for the lead. He's got his nose in front, as you can see on the timing tower. And Andy Carroll, is he going to cede the place here? Yes, he does. It's Oliver Gibson who comes through. Ollie, Ollie, Ollie. Up front he goes. Oliver Gibson then a 5th, a 6th and an 8th last time. That last meeting, so maybe I think outscored his brother very possibly in the championship. So Gibson out front, Carroll in P2, 6 seconds to Scott Bugner now, and we're very nearly at the halfway point. Bugner with Potter, Thomas Potter now behind him. Then it's Miles Ragg, you can see, chasing Thomas Potter. Gabe Norse right with him as well. Norse is not that far away from getting another podium here. And from 20th on the grid, I fancy he probably would have loved a win, but I'm guessing the aim is going to be top 5 and then podium for championship leader Gabe Norse.
Yeah, it's, this is really spicy. Gabriel's come through, as you say, from the back of the grid. He's got his head down and pushing as hard as he can. Again, another driver that's certainly be interesting. I'm not sure the format for race 3, to be honest, but if it's as I think it is, that'll be a really fantastic race 3.
Yeah, he's going to get spanked on the points, isn't he, as well as the ballast, because it's the points from races 1 and 2 added together that give us the grid reversed for race 3. So he's going to be right at the back, which sometimes it can be a curse, sometimes it can be a blessing. Gabe is up into 6th place, chasing Miles Ragg. So he's having a good go. Kieran Haynes is checking on Kieran from round 1, a little way down the order, trying to work his way through. But it's Gibson from Carroll and Bugner. Bugner 6 seconds down, and Norse very neat and tidy. Gets a good run here. He's going to look up the inside of Miles Ragg. Ragg busy trying to have a go at Thomas Potter, who in turn is challenging the yellow car out front of Scott Bugner. That is all for 3rd place. This battle is for the last step on the podium at the moment, and with 10 minutes to go, potentially they might not get any further up. Ragg loses out. Thomas Potter momentarily in 4th place. It's on the inside now in yellow, Scott Bugner, who's really defending that last podium position at the moment. 3 wide though as they come down into Brooklands here, Formula Ford style. Norse is looking up the inside. Norse is up into 5th place. Now gets his nose up, I think, momentarily into 4th ahead of Potter. Potter fights back on the inside and holds on to that. The KTM Logistics car in 4th place has got to defend whilst having to try and get ahead and move towards Scott Bugner. This is probably a good return to form here for Thomas Potter. He was really on form at Brands Hatch and very nearly got the win in race 2 where Leon Frost just beat him. It's a cracking race between the two of them, as going off there was Miles Ragg dropping off. That's a big shame for Miles, major shame, as Gibson gets the lead out to 1.5 seconds from Carroll. Scott Bugner is in third place, Thomas Potter down behind him, and they've got traffic to deal with as well now.
Yeah, the coming up behind the back markers is going to again make it interesting, because as we know, the back markers are probably not so aware of what's going on around them. They've got their own race to go, and trying to keep it smooth and tidy, and then they're going to get swamped very soon.
They will. Looking at Andy Dorman chasing Paul Laramie, Gabriel Norse ahead of them. I'd kind of missed the fact that Laramie and Dorman, again VRRC regulars right there, with Luke Cooper in 8th place, Ollie Atkins 9th, and Rich Hayden in 10th. So Rich has come through from 19th on the grid into 10th. So a decent one on his virtual home track. Rich Hayden running well. Gibson still out front. Who's got fastest lap? Gibson. My timing screen's still saying that Andy Carroll was leading, so let's refresh that quickly, and it tells us now Lee Pearcey's got the fastest lap. So Lee, with that real world experience, we'll call him Lee as opposed to Chris Blakey this time, fastest lap, as Thomas Potter challenges Scott Bugner here for third place. This is for the podium, Geoff.
Yeah, no, it's Scott's driving a really good race. He's keeping his own line, as you can see. Nice and smooth, really good, really good driving. Very little oversteer, which is a sign of a good throttle control. Yeah, really smooth. Love it. Driving
Scott's
at the moment.
He's a tasty driver. I've only seen him race once in the real world, which was at Donington. I think Donington, or was it Thruxton? Actually, maybe it's twice. I'm pretty sure I saw him at both tracks, and he was good in the MG back then. Runs a little bit wide here. Thomas Potter with momentum, looking up the inside. This is the fascinating part of Silverstone, though, because the inside becomes the outside when they get up to Maggots, which is very swiftly dealt with, and Potter through into third. Was there a bit of contact there?
I think so, yeah, there was just a little bit, yeah. A little bit oversteer, and now you can see on the high side again. I think he's going to do this. Yeah, that's close. That's close.
Yeah, in Scott Bugner parlance. Oh, he had his elbows out. He gets it locked up. He's going for the drifting championship. Holds it well, though. Potter looking for the outside. Oh,
yeah,
that was Scott Bugner wanting third back, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is good stuff. But he's still got his head down. Look, he's still there. He's not getting flustered. He's driving a really good race.
Norseman is back into it as well here. Gabe Norse goes through into fourth place ahead of Thomas Potter. Potter's going to try and fight back on the outside, and Bugner's going to find himself under more pressure as well. 2.2 seconds, sorry, 2.2, the gap between Gibson and Carroll, 1 and 2. This, the focus, is the battle for third place. Potter back in front of Norse. She's going to be a big amount of pride here for Thomas Potter to be racing the championship leader. Thomas, who's normally battling for championship leads in amongst the VRRC regulars. So it's a matter of pride for him to want to beat Gabriel Norse. Potter, the youngster, just 14 years of age last October. I think second youngest in our championship, unless someone wants to prove me wrong otherwise. Kieran Haynes is the youngest driver in this championship. I think maybe struggling, Kieran, with ballast at the moment in this one, but Scott Bugner gets a little bit of respite now for third place. We've got 5 minutes on the clock. We've still got a quarter of this race to go, and he's got a load of pressure to deal with here from the Flying Teapot.
Yeah, no, Scott's got his head down. He's nice and smooth. I like, a smooth driver in the Formula Ford is always going to be quick.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Potter now looking to the outside run here. Gabriel Norse, great racecraft here as well, was keeping back, watching what was going on, and what is going on is there's a gap on the inside. Has he got the momentum? He hasn't quite to get with Potter. Now the inside line being covered here by Scott Bugner in P3, and so Thomas Potter's going to have a go round the outside. This is for the brave. Is he going to be able to do it? Can't quite do it at the moment. Has a go. This is going to leave the door open though for Gabriel Norse, who's going to have a good go around the outside there, side by side with Potter. Good respectful racing thus far from the trio, with Bugner holding sway. Coming up to play as well is Andy Dorman, with Ollie Atkins, Luke Cooper in that group as well, followed by Paul Laramie and Rich Hayden in P10. So across the line they go again. 4 minutes 44 on the clock. The gap 2.5 seconds. Oliver Gibson, who we haven't seen a huge amount of at the moment, but great to see Oliver Gibson up in the lead positions here, and potentially another first-time interview in the championship. I think with Andy Carroll. We haven't spoken to Andy in the campaign so far as well. As we look at Luke Cooper trying to deal with Ollie Atkins at the moment, with Paul Laramie down behind him as well. Gabe Norse now up into third, so I missed that while I was looking at paperwork. Norse up into third, Potter in fourth, Scott Bugner fifth. Did you see that, Geoff? Because I was looking at paperwork.
Yeah, but he basically lost out a little bit at Cops, and they're going up towards Maggots,
Potter's
just on the back.
gone now as well.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut across you, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah, Thomas Potter's gone as well with a little moment down into Brooklands, the left-hander. So after all the madness, and the one thing we can't do, and I wouldn't want to put Steve under pressure if we could, is replay, so we can't do that. So, and Steve's going, thank goodness for that. So it's Gibson from Carroll. Norse now on the podium again. So we look at Luke Cooper challenging Ollie Atkins for 6th place. So Gibson, Carroll, Norse, Scott Bugner in 4th, still in with a shout of a podium if he's not lost out on too much. And we look back at Paul Laramie. Actually, it's Ollie Atkins we're looking back. Paul Laramie now, as Ollie Atkins moves offline to attempt to pass, which he almost does, round the outside. Trying to make this work round the outside of Beckett's. I've been a few times on the Beckett's commentary box. Have you been? Do you know the commentary boxes at Silverstone?
No, not really. Never had that opportunity. I've only ever been in the pits or on the track.
Okay, they've messed around with the lead box a few times. Sometimes it's on the outside, sometimes it's on the inside. But the Beckett's box is kind of on the inside. It's a great place to go and watch the racing that goes on there if you're box 2. And we do a thing called the Silverstone Shuttle, where if you're doing the Beckett's box, you have to jump in your car and then do the podium interview. So you have to hack it when the race is finished out of the Beckett's commentary box and go to the back of the pit lane to do the podium interviews, where there's only 2 commentators because the clubs are too stingy to have 3. But anyway, it's a little bit of
Yeah,
a little bit
needle there, I think.
Yeah, and you can understand why though. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times with David Addison on box 1, and we normally have a good amount of fun. And Scott Bugner having fun. He's trying to get back at Andy Dorman and get up into P4. This is going to be crucial for Scott. He's had a good smooth race so far. Disappointing result in race 1, and he needs to be within sight of Gabriel Norse. Really, that's going to be his aim here.
Yeah, he's in a perfect position for slipstreaming, but again, they're so similar, the cars in performance. You know, just the smallest mistake and you're away. I'm all for falling forward slipstreaming, as you probably gathered by now, and that makes it so. There you go. That's a fantastic shot. Absolutely fantastic. Go on. Keep your foot in.
Go on, Scotty. Andy Dorman will fight him all the way as well. Andy, as I mentioned last week to Tom Hawkins, is a drag racer, which I think Tom was saying his dad is into a bit of drag strip action as well. And so Andy normally seen around Santa Pod and the likes, as Paul Laramie looks on the inside of Luke Cooper. Doesn't quite work for Paul Laramie there. 1:21 on the clock. So we need to keep our eyes on Ollie Gibson. 2 laps to go, I would imagine, depending on where they are. So look at Luke Cooper still trying to hunt down on how much. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a gap, hasn't he, Luke Cooper, to catch up on Scott Bugner with Ollie Atkins right over him. Ollie not really helping Luke Cooper at the moment. If they would work together for a bit and use the slipstream, as you say, Geoff, they might be able to get onto that podium battle.
Yeah, but like I said, these cars are so alike and so equal in performance. Yes, you can get the slipstream, but it's all about your corner exit speed on the previous corner. If you can get out 2 or 3 mile an hour quicker, then you've got half a chance of slipstreaming. Otherwise, you're going to follow a leader. Yeah,
they do have to make the most of what they've got, don't they? Gabe Norse in 3rd. Back to our race leader, Oliver Gibson, could be on for his first win. It's only his 2nd meeting in the Formula Ford, so he's had a good run. 23 seconds on the clock, coming into Brooklands. Nothing to worry about in terms of cars ahead or behind, because he's built up a good gap. It's Paul Laramie with the fastest lap of the race so far, but Oliver Gibson did hold the fastest lap, around about 1/3 distance. 8 seconds on the clock. I think he might be able to, he's going to get another lap here. If he'd have backed off, probably couldn't have backed off enough, or is he? Clock's done. So he's going to be checker for Oliver Gibson, I think, as he crosses the line. So it is Oliver Gibson that takes the win. Well done, Oliver. Andy Carroll in P2. Gabe Norse, another podium for the Norseman. Superb stuff from Norse, who extends the championship lead again. And we'll have to do it right the way from the back at the end. Andy Dorman fourth, holds off Scott Bugner. He said Scott Hunter, back to Legends Day. Scott Bugner from Luke Cooper. Paul Laramie and Ollie Atkins in 8th place. And then Lee Piercy 9th, so a good run from Lee. Rich Hayden shadowed him through the race as well to come home in 10th from Callum Enstone. Good drive from Callum Enstone there, 11th position. And if we have a look at him in race 3, could be a potential driver of the round, maybe. Good progress from Callum in there. Jack Smith 12th and Thomas Potter. Dan Heaps in 14th, so Potter the quicker of the two teammates. Alex Foster 15th, Olavo Castro 16th. Good to see Olavo up there. Just having a quick look. Might be his best result of the campaign too for Olavo. Then Kenny Press, who I haven't mentioned, I don't think, today. Miles Ragnex and Christian Gillian. Sam Walton, Leon Frost, Harry Irvin, Robert Shepherd, Aidan Ingram, Kat Potter, Mason Turner, John Jones, Chris Blakey, Sam Gumbley, Caden Cook, Kieran Haynes 31st, John Billingsley 32nd. Huge entry, and we get to talk to the top 3 in just a minute. Okay. Second podium selection of the evening, and it's a little bit of deja vu here because the man who finished in 3rd place, it's a double third, a double podium. Norse, well done, another sensational race from you, Gabe, again picking your way through. Congratulations on another podium, and tell us the story of your race.
Yeah, I mean, that race was pretty difficult. I felt like halfway through that the podium was just well out of reach. But I managed to claw it back on the drivers that were all fighting for 3rd. And in the end, it came to 3rd place. So yeah, I'm overall pretty happy with that race.
That's good. How many open-wheeled esports championships have you done?
This is my first one.
Is it really? Well, and it must be different where we got flat-sided cars or plate enclosed cars, where you can, you know, do a little bit of rubbing. And I think generally everybody, particularly the VRRC regulars, having to learn that they can't do the rubbing here, and generally everyone's adapted to it well, and obviously you have too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the contact's been down to a minimal. Of course, there's still the odd bit of argy-bargy, but it's very minimal and very good standards overall.
And again, just to rub it in, full ballast and complete back of the grid, I think, for the next race, because you've had 2 podia.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can replicate what I did last week and go from 20th to 1st. But yeah, we'll have to see what comes of it.
Do people look at? I mean, obviously, when you're doing esports racing, you do a little bit of social media. Do people notice that? Do they come and talk to you about what you're doing in this?
I haven't really had anyone do that yet.
Need to try and pump you up a little bit then. I'm sure the guys from the Super Classic Formula 4 Championship would be pleased to get you along to a race day or a test day and give you a shout or give you a chance if they could do. So that would be good to look forward to. But yeah, mega job, mate. Another podium. And what's that? 4 out of 5 podiums that we've had so far from you and 2 wins in your opening 2 events with us. So decent start. I'm going to put you on the spot. Prediction for the final? Where do you reckon you'll finish?
Got to go for 1st, I think. Got to go for it. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Good lad. Gabriel, well done. Double podium, and good luck for the final race.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. And I think the first chat of the campaign to Andy Carroll starts in P2. Andy, got your head down, built an early lead. It was looking at the likes of Luke Cooper to maybe try and sort of break ranks and get away. It didn't really fall for him, but you got your head down. Nice little lead. And a decent P2, so it's nice to welcome you to the podium. Well done.
Thanks, Richard. It's been a while. It's been too long, I think, since I've spoken to you. So it's good to be back on a podium again.
Yeah, when was the last time? Was it Legends? Or was it before
No,
that?
before the Legends. Legends should not be mentioned because that, not my best campaign, that one. But I think it was just before the Legend.
But
I got a good start. I got past Luke. Luke had a poor start, I think, so I got past him before T1. And I guess there was a little bit of argy-bargy going on because suddenly I had a reasonable lead, and then I knew Oliver was coming, so it's just a question of not slowing each other up, and then once he'd gone, it was really then just trying to put in consistent laps to make sure that second place wasn't under threat.
And that was the case. I mean, I think there was a fairly good squabble going on behind as well.
I could see lots of cars behind on similar sort of time, so I thought they were all going to be fighting a bit. So that definitely helped.
How are you finding it? Are you itching to get back in a touring car?
I do like these cars, to be honest. Even they're not usually my cup of tea, but they're quite good fun. The racing has been, as Gabe was saying, the racing's been, given that there's 30 odd of us on the track and these cars don't have any aero, it's been really enjoyable. But yes, I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into probably a front wheel drive touring car.
That'll be the next one, won't it? What happened in race 1? Is it 18th race 1?
Yeah, I got through turn 1 okay, and then just caught up in the melee that happened at the end of the straight there, and ended up tangled up with Jack, and just had to wait for him, and ended up near the back. Just to say, managed to get back. Was aiming to just get back in the top 20, so I'd be near the front for race 2, and managed to do that.
Excellent. Well, great to chat to you. I think you did get a podium in Legends. Just checking the results, but it was round 1, which I think Jack Oliphant was doing. So maybe Jack will be a lucky talisman for you next week as well.
I'll take them all. Anyone I can get.
Good lad. Nice to chat to you on the podium again, Andy. Well done. Nice
Cheers.
one, mate. Andy Carroll, P2, and our first chat of the campaign with Oliver. Well done. Congratulations. A good race there. Obviously, not right at the front from the word go, so you had to work for it. But happy with that?
Yeah. I managed to get lucky on the start. I thought my wheel had broken because I didn't shift up. But I must have done something wrong, and then just got lucky, and then was right behind Andy, and I think we both knew if we don't fight, we might make a big gap because they were in a pretty decent scrap behind us. And so that's what we did, and then I was a bit too close one point, and then I thought I'm just gonna have to go for it, and went for it, and I would say it was pretty boring for me, to be honest. But that's the best sort of way to have a win, isn't it? But hopefully more of that to come. But it's just carnage.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying at one point, I said nobody in front of you, nobody behind you, but yeah, you're going to take that all day long if you put yourself in that position. We missed you week 1. Were you poorly? I can't remember. Were you working, or what was the deal week 1?
I just didn't have my rig, so couldn't do it. I would have done it, had a pin at uni, but I was at home, so just didn't have access to it. So
that's a shame. Yeah, we do miss you guys when you're not here as regulars, and it's nice to kind of. And we actually still haven't had the race where all of the top guys have been together on track, and actually that mirrors real life as well, because there are so many championships I get to call where you think, oh yeah, we should have so and so here and so and so there, and you should have them all together, and it doesn't matter what level, we tend not to get that, but I think we will in this one before the end. We'll have a great big gaggle of 10 of you all fighting it out, I think, before too long.
Yeah, I hope so, but it's just a I mean, especially around here, everyone's just trying to put you under pressure, so it's not that fun. And obviously, they're really good at it. So you know, it would be nice to have everyone there. It's just as long as I'm miles up the road from them, that would be great. But and I think we will, because obviously once everyone's got their results, and then we'll sort of start around the similar area. So fingers crossed. Maybe next week we might even be able to have more scraps. I mean, I've barely seen Jack, so I see him on like lap 1, and then he's gone. So, but yeah, no. Hopefully we do get more scraps, because you know they're the guys that I know how to race. We'll see these new guys, newcomers. They're very good, but I don't know how they race. So I just got to learn. But yeah, no, it would be nice to race some of the veterans, I guess, is the way to put it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for us, it's great to watch the regular VRRC front guys be there, but also it's super to welcome new names in, whether it's, you know, circuit drivers or real life Formula Ford aspirants, you know, karters that are looking to move into it. It's fascinating to watch how you all work together. And I think, as Rich Hayden said in his interview on race 1, it's been pretty clean so far.
Yeah. It's just a lap 1. There's just so many cars on lap 1. You've got to really keep your wits about you and have sort of eyes, not really even in the back of your head, just everywhere. So you just got to be really careful and to make sure you get through that lap 1. And then from there, it's just really, really clean. The new drivers are just really just have settled into this so well, and obviously we welcome anyone of any talent. So. It's just been great to race new people and be able to just speak to them and see what their story is, and obviously they've got real life experience, so it's just good fun, really.
Yep, we've enjoyed it. Well done on the win. Great to see you on the top step of the podium, Ollie, and good luck for race 3.
Cheers.
Oliver Gibson, lovely to catch you again, and always there or thereabouts in VRRC, and another win to add to. As we head for race 3, the completely reversed grid, Geoff Page. Geoff, again, it goes quick, doesn't it, the evening, actually?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm trying to keep track of it all, and I think we're up for another really interesting race now. You know, they're obviously on the grid, and I think there'll be plenty more slipstreaming. And again, you know, be interested to see if Oliver and Lee can come through, the 2 previous race winners. Alex Foster, I think he could do well. Scott Bugner, I think I've got some sort of soft spot for him. I don't know why that is, but I thought he was his head down attitude in that second race was really good, really good.
Well, let's see how he does now. The lighting sequence is underway, as our Eagle Eye viewers will no doubt see, for race 3 of the evening. Away we go. Sam Walton, Christian Gillian, Miles Ragg in P4. So it is a good start from Sam Walton. Nice to get a chance to talk about Sam and Christian Gillian momentarily in P3. But Miles Ragg, who we've seen some good form so far, going up into 2nd place. Kenny Press, the man who looks after all our liveries, is in 4th place. From Olavo Castro running well too. There is Christian Gillian. We look side on, but it's Sam Walton around the outside from Miles Ragg. Good chance for him in this one. Also for Daniel Heaps and Thomas Potter, who start uncharacteristically near the front for this reverse grid race. Alex Forster is up there as well, and we're in with a good shout after a great performance in race 1. But we ride with Alex Forster in P5. Olavo Castro looking down his inside. And in fact, it's Jack Smith coming through. Castro through on the inside. Forster gets dumped down into 8th place. Callum Enstone chasing him now as well, with Sam Walton still up front from Miles Ragg. So all very physical as they complete lap 1. Quick look down the order to see where Gabriel Norse is. He is in 16th place, already making up progress. But as we look at them, it's Walton, Ragg, Smith, Potter, Castro and Heaps, with Forster in 7th. Lee Piercy has come through to 8th. Are we going to see a double podium potentially for Lee Piercy, who's been very quick, as Ragg goes for the lead here, side by side with Sam Walton. He's going to have to negotiate. Here we go, the little left kink at Maggots. Now immediately into the right-hander at Beckett's. He's hanging on the outside run, but coming across in there is Sam Walton, and it's wide for Miles Ragg in P2, and now comes under pressure from Jack Smith, so he's now battling for 2nd, which he's actually lost. Here comes Ragg. So Ragg in P2, Jack Smith, in fact, has gone through into the lead. So we've got Jack Smith now into lead position. Sam Oulton looking to consolidate that P2. Miles Ragg in third. So down across the line they go again. Another 20-minute race here for the Super Classic Formula Ford cars. And Jack Smith, yeah, started actually a fair way back. I think he was on row 4 or 5. So again, the seas have parted for him as he started to come through. Miles Ragg now up into P2, so we're on board with Miles again, going through Beckett's outside run. Keep your eyes on Sam Oulton. I'm checking both of the mirrors. I'm guessing he might be side by side with him. We just see Oulton coming into shot just behind him. So there is Oulton in the black car. Miles Ragg now in P2. We'll want to try and close down on Jack Smith out front, but it's Smith for Ragg, Oulton third. Lee Piercy is in fourth and dicing with Thomas Potter. Great dicing once again.
Yeah, again, that was a quite clean first lap. I've noticed that one car went off in the background on the way out of Beckett's, but other than that, that was pretty clean. Very good first lap.
Norse is up into 10th, so he's making progress. Rich Hayden 9th ahead of him. Luke Cooper in 8th. And I bang on about Luke Cooper, and we're on board with him here, and I don't want to put the curse of the commentator on him, but he's been in the top 10 in every race. If he finishes in this one, it'll be 9 finishes in the top 10, Geoff. And, you know, that is just like super, super consistent, which you need for championship.
Absolutely. It's all about the points. Oh, no. Oh, no.
It was the curse of the commentator, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't know if we'll pick up damage from that. I know that the simulators do replicate damage if there is an incident on track, and we'll see whether
that
drops down.
That was a fairly hard hit, though, wasn't it? I mean, yes, I would imagine there's going to be some damage there. It'd be difficult to believe that you'd get away with it, even with the simulator.
And all these will be looked at by Ian Danaher, the clerk of the course, with Rich Hayden tomorrow morning. And I've got to say the officiating, very, very grateful to have Ian on board. And not many penalties, I've got to say, as we look from Luke Cooper. Gabe Norse going down the inside. Gabe's already got the job done. Oliver Gibson there, our previous race winner, is in the mix as well, but Luke Cooper gets Gabe Norse back. This is superb for Gabe, isn't it? We were talking in the interviews about, you know, moving from touring cars or sports cars with signs, and there's contact there on Luke Cooper. Yeah, that might be looked at by the clerk, but yeah, very difficult, isn't it, moving from closed wheel to open wheel racing, but good discipline for these drivers to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we've said earlier, you know, this is open wheel single-seater racing, and personally, I like to see it being aggressive, as I said earlier. You know, there's overdriving, there's too aggressive, yeah, I get that, but you know, it's open wheel racing, and that's where you look at real world racing, and a lot of people have come through from these smaller formulas, and you know, it's great training. It's great training.
I mean, brought in mind of the festival this year, and some of the heats got a bit fruity, and some of the drivers, when they got out of the cars, the adrenaline's running, and one guy, I won't name names, but said, you know, you're gonna be upside down in the next race, fella. And then by the end of the meeting, they're all shaking hands and enjoying a beer in the Kentagon, you know, which is fascinating to watch unfold.
I have to be honest. I was part of the crew that were in Kentagon after the end of the meeting, and yeah, quite a lot of alcohol was consumed. But as you say, it's all everybody's shaking hands, everybody's enjoyed themselves. Adrenaline, once the adrenaline gets going, that's a difficult one to control. And as a driver myself from many years ago, but yeah, when it's all happening and it's well, like we say, the adrenaline's flowing, you can't control yourself sometimes. You have to try, but I've been in front of a number of clerk of the course myself over the years, so I know what it's all about.
We need to get a book out here.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
No, I should think about it. It's worth having a think about as we watch Sam Oulton, Daniel Heaps and company all working hard. The nicest thing about going back to the festival on the Kentagon was Jason Smith, bless him, when we were just going around saying well done and cheerio to everyone, had filled the trophy with champagne and insisted that I have a drink out of it before I went, which was such a lovely touch. And
I must admit, I had a drink out of that as well.
what a nice thing. I've never done that before, and it meant so much to me to, you know, to be offered by him to do that. And yeah, what a lovely fellow. And You know, I know it's easy when you won, but he didn't have to. But yeah, top man.
Here. Yeah, it was a good family event for them as well. You know, they're a great crowd. Met the father, and yeah, what a character. They're all real good guys.
Well, I used to watch Neville racing back in the day. I mean, I was standing up at Druids watching when Neville was racing all those years ago. So yeah. Happy memories. Rich Hayden's up into third though, talking about making memories here. Daniel Heaps is fourth. Jack Smith still leading from Miles Ragg. Ragg's having a good race here at the moment in P2. There is Rich Hayden in third. Maybe a double podium here from Rich Hayden. Daniel Heaps right behind him. We're looking at Leon Frost and Oliver Gibson having a decent race of it as well. Gabriel Norse in sixth place. A decent points for Gabriel at the moment, and still I think progress can be made because we're not quite at the halfway distance. Norse and Gibson here. So Gibson with the race 2 win, and it'll be interesting to see how these two play off against each other.
Without doubt, I'd say that Gibson's very much the on-form guy at the moment because he started a long way back and he's there. He's still going forward. So yeah, I can see him being on the podium again.
Oliver's very magnanimous. You know, I don't think he rates himself too highly, but he is a very, very quick driver, and he doesn't take himself too seriously either. But yeah, the fact that he's on pace with Gabe Norse, he's one of our top drivers, Oliver Gibson for VRRC, and Gabe Norse will be more than happy to give him a race as we look back from Rich Hayden, who gets back in front of Daniel Heaps, who won a sprint out in Ireland at the weekend. I think it's the second one on the bounce that he's won. It'd be nice if we get a chance to chat to him about that. And Daniel Heaps is teammates with Thomas Potter, and those two are always trying to outdo each other. So if Daniel can get the first podium out of the pair, I know there's going to be bragging rights on the podium with him.
Yeah, well, like I say, I think that Oliver Gibson is he's the money man at the moment, but he seems to have come a little bit of a standstill. He's not going forward so much now.
He's got Leon Frost, Gabe Norse's teammate, right behind him, isn't he? So there is Norse having a look at Sam Walton, who did well in the early stages. Actually, Sam Walton is doing well now, even though he's down to 6th place. So holding on well, Sam Walton. Just having a quick look at his previous results. 17, 16, 12, 12, 16, 14 in the opening 2 rounds. So maybe we need to start thinking about driver of the round. So I can sort of abdicate that one and just put pressure on Geoff to try and pick one as we get nearer the end of the race.
Yeah, well, I've already got a couple of notes here, so I'll keep quiet for a minute.
That's all right. Good man. So Jack Smith out front. We're looking at Daniel Heath. Daniel always likes to get stuck in, and when we were in the Legends Championship, we were saying that he should talk to the Irish Legends runners, and now he's coming to Formula 4. We said he needs to make himself known to the Irish Formula 4 teams because he's a very quick driver. Again, another teenager, so not actually old enough to race senior cars yet, but showing us that, you know, maturity-wise, he is capable of doing that because he's up on P3. And a quick apology to Thomas Potter. Thomas has already had a podium, P2, race 2, Brands Hatch. But I know Daniel would like to beat him today.
Yeah, well, like I say, I've got some notes here. I've got a couple of favourites, but I don't want to be biased to any particular person. My number one guy is currently not in the top 10, which is a shame. There you go. That's Formula 4 racing again.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it could well be. Wouldn't it be great if we could get a festival type format, if we get even more drivers for the next one, and maybe have a festival over a couple of weeks? Might be interesting to maybe do at some point. We'll talk to Rich and Alan Bowles about maybe trying to sort that out. Jack Smith, though, looking as his brother did in race 2, a good bet here from Miles Ragg. And again, the scrap's on for 3rd place. And Gabe Norse here, yeah, could be on for a hat-trick of 3rd places, which again will just totally and utterly underline his championship lead. And remember, last week, no ballast. This week, full ballast. And potentially 3 podiums. He's not far away from it at the moment, Gabe Norse. There he is, trying to hunt down Daniel Heath. Daniel will not be an easy man to pass, though.
No, again, another guy with his head down, looking at what I can see from here. I mean, he's very, very smooth and very, very consistent. Again, good throttle control, not too much oversteer. Yeah, very smooth. Love it.
Luke Cooper still in 10th place and running well, keeping that consistent run ahead of Andy Carroll. So Luke's going to be under some pressure from Andy Carroll to maintain his run of top 10 finishes in this one. Here also we got a little bit further down the order, so I'll flick away from the main screen to look at the timing and see who's doing well. Ollie Atkins 16th. Kieran Haynes is up into 15th, having a relatively quiet run at the moment. 7 kg for Kieran Haynes. It's been a quiet round for him. Harry Irving 21st. Alex Forster down in 22nd. Trying to pick out some other drivers that might be worth having a look at, but yeah, it's it's been an interesting set of 3 races as we again focus on Rich Hayden, who was podium bound but has lost out a bit the last couple of laps. Luke Cooper now up into 9th place as we look at Andy Dorman trying to go through, and there is Luke Cooper on the back of Rich Hayden now. So the white-nosed blue predominantly bodied car of Luke Cooper trying to get further up into the top 10. Rich Hayden's not going to be an easy driver to pass. And this is a battle that is going to be nice to see, these 2 drivers, 2 great guys here having a good battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's very close racing all the way through from, certainly in the top 10. And a lot of credit to all of them for being smooth and there's not too much contact, which is a little bit unusual. Like you say, in the Formula Ford Festival last year, it was getting a bit hairy, scary. But these guys are giving credit, and they're relaxed and not taking any each other out or anything like that, which can happen in single-seater open wheel racing. It gets a bit aggressive sometimes, like we said earlier on about the adrenaline thing. It gets to you. Believe me, I've done it many a time. But try your best. There you go. This is close. This is what it's Formula Ford's all about.
Yep, bit of Gibson and Frost here. So Frost in front, and Gibson's going to try and look down the inside. A little bit of opposite lot. Nice little bit of correction there from Oliver Gibson. He's on for some good points here in this round. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliver's one of our top 3 on the points for the round. Obviously, we have the run that all the results are provisional until the clerk of the course and Ian and Rich have looked at it. But Oliver's getting a little bit of a run here. Let's see what he can do with Leon Frost in front of him. Leon, course 1, race 2, with that fine run with Thomas Potter. Runs wide here, and this is Oliver trying to get up into 5th position, but Leon had the run. Yeah, no, he knew what he was doing there, going through Maggots and round into Beckett's. Drifts wide. Nice, lovely shot of the correction there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good car control. Now we're back into the old slipstreaming situation, and he used it at the beginning of the straight, got alongside, and made the move straight away, which was fantastic. A little bit of oversteer slowed him down, and Gibson's made the advantage from the oversteer correction.
He has got back in front, and now he's got Gabriel Norse right in front of him, so Oliver will try and close down. Having a look to see where Jack Smith is, if indeed we've got Jack Smith in this one. So I can't. Jack Smith is, of course, right out front. Silly question, isn't it? He's yeah. that much clear. 4.2 seconds clear, Jack Smith, from Miles Ragg. Miles Ragg's done a good one here in P2. He's only he's 4 seconds clear of Daniel Heap, so that, barring any huge problems, he's going to be pretty much secure. I think the big issue here is what Steve was focusing on, is whether Gabriel Norse can end off Oliver Gibson, or whether Luke Cooper can have a go at Andy Dorman here, which he's trying to do. So Andy runs a little bit wide. Luke Cooper again inside the top 10. Also in the top 10 now is Scott Bugner in the yellow car. So Scott's made it up into the top 10, and dicing with the likes of Kieran Haynes has come through as well. So Kieran Haynes up into the top 10 as well. I think that's Kieran dicing with Scott Bugner at the moment. So the youngster who took a win in race 3 on Brands Hatch GP, the 13-year-old, so the youngest driver in it, is finding his legs around Silverstone and got up into the top 10. So Kieran is, 11th place at the moment, just behind Scott, but having a good dice as we continue to watch Andy Dorman and Rich Hayden having a workout.
Yeah, I see Kieran's just pulled, well, he was up into 10th then, he's gone, they're clearly dicing, and that's obviously very, very close racing.
Yeah, all good stuff. Moment. So Andy Dorman and Luke Cooper. Luke defending 8th place, working very, very hard around Silverstone National. They are 3 minutes 20 to go, and yeah, Jack Smith still the leader from Miles Ragg. Oliver Gibson still trying to chase down Gabriel Norse. 0.6 of a second down on him at the moment as we watch the yellow and blue car of the race 2 winner trying to close down on the man who has 2 podiums so far. Norse hasn't been able to close in thus far on Daniel Heaps. He was closer earlier on, but I think maybe, I'm wondering whether is there a point when you start driving on the mirrors?
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. That's what they're there for. I mean, some people don't get the mental capacity to use the mirrors, and they're just concentrating on what's straight ahead of them. That's true. I mean, you know, did you not see me? No, I didn't see you. I didn't know you were there. I've had that a number of times, not just myself, but from other people. The mirrors are there for a reason. When I race the sort of cars I like to race, I use what I call a wide mirror, so I'm not really interested in whatever's directly behind me. I want to see who's on the right and who's on the left. So I put the mirrors right out so I can see the outside edge of the rear tyres. I don't really care what's directly behind me because I've used the mirror before that. So if there's somebody that's right behind me and I can't see them in the mirror, I still know where they are, but I want to know if they're on the right or the left.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And good race car. Do you do any coaching as well still, Geoff? Or
a little bit of karting sometimes, occasionally. Occasionally, the trouble is with the business situation as I've got now, time is limited. I'm trying to make time this year to do a little bit of racing myself. I like to race the sports prototypes. So I've got a couple of those, and I've got a couple of Formula Fords. So hopefully you're going to see me out racing again this year. That's the plan.
That'll be great. We look forward to that. We'll be there to cheer you on and see you. It'll be nice actually for me to to come and watch. I'm not working all of them this year, but it'll be nice to come and have a proper chat with you in the pit lane. Having a go here is Oliver Gibson on the inside, challenging Gabe Norse for 4th position. Gets his nose in front momentarily. Norse will try and hold on the outside. Clean stuff from the pair of them. Oliver's going to go around the outside. It's the long way round here. Side by side they go, but he's also got to be mindful of Leon Frost, who goes up the inside. So Leon's read that well. And I tell you what, Oliver Gibson loses out, but that was good, clean, attacking driving from Gibson to try and have a go at Gabe Norse. Couldn't do it and loses out. Now we've got the 2 teammates battling together.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver, a lot of respect there. You know, he could have made his car a little bit wider if he wanted to, but yeah, very clean, very clean.
So Miles Raggin P2 is on potentially for another podium interview. We had one with him last time as Gibson goes back up into 4th position, but now we've got, this is again what Formula Ford is all about, swapping of positions, and very nearly, I think it maybe was a tap on the back end there of Gabe Norse in 4th position, and another one, and this could allow a change of position again as Oliver Gibson goes back through on the inside of Leon Frost. So Gibson's going to get another bite of the cherry here. The question is, how far down the road was Jack Smith? Are we going to see a checker on this one, or has he got another lap to go? Let's refresh the timing screen. It goes through, and Jack Smith is now on what will be his last lap, and is clear from Miles Ragg at the moment by 5.27 seconds. Smith going for his 2nd win of the campaign. He's always there or thereabouts, Jack Smith. Miles Ragg in P2, the Benelux radical front runner, who told us that he was going to be racing a BMW in sports cars this year. Last time out, as Oliver Gibson goes up to the inside of Gabriel Norse. This is absolutely, or could be absolutely key championship-wise, these two drivers getting the measure of each other, but Frost and Norse get the better of it, and Gibson attacking well, but can't quite get the position back. Now he goes wide as they come down into Brooklands for the last time, and will try and cut back up on the inside as they come through that complex. Meanwhile, we go back to the leader. Jack Smith is there, and he's going to take the checkered flag. Smith, almost forgotten really, but he's got such a big lead, as Jack Smith does, and takes the checkered flag to grab a 2nd win of the campaign. Equals the championship leader on race wins there, which is significant. Miles Ragg P2, great drive from him, and Daniel Heaps, 1st podium of the campaign for the young Irishman in 3rd. Gabriel Norse, super stuff again from Gabriel, just shy of the podium, but I think he'll take that 4th position from Leon Frost. Oliver Gibson takes 6th position. 7th goes to Rich Hayden from Andy Dorman and Luke Cooper in the top 10 again. Kieran Haynes comes through for 10th. Quiet evening for Kieran, but a good solid 10th position. Andy Carroll next from Sam Walton. Then it was Scott Bugner, Ollie Atkins, Chris Blakey, Callum Enstone, Thomas Potter in 14th from Kenny Press and Alex Forster. Mason Turner 19th from Christian Gillian, Cat Potter. These runners still coming across the line. Olivo Castro, Sam Gumbley, Caden Cook, Harry Irvin, Robert Shepherd and John Jones. Time, Geoff Page, to ask you what you think about a driver of the round.
Well, I've got a couple of drivers written down here in front of me, but I think after seeing that, I think I'm going to opt for Oliver Gibson. Close racing, full respect, head down, smooth. I like smooth.
Nice one. That's a good decision. The timing has changed round. I didn't so engrossed was I in that. I didn't write the top three down, but Jack Smith the winner, Miles Ragg P2 and Daniel Heaps in P3, and we'll have a word with our top three and our driver of the round in just a moment. So welcome back, our third and final part. I say it every week. These evenings do go very, very quickly indeed, to be perfectly honest. So the series is going quick. I can't believe next time, which I'm not here for next week, is in fact the halfway point, or will mark the halfway point of the championship. So it has gone really, really quickly, but very enjoyable. We're going to start off with our third place driver, which is Daniel Heaps. Daniel, well done on the weekend as well as well done on the podium. A class win in your sprinting. I've been looking at the social media and it looks like you had a bit of a blast at the weekend and you've carried that momentum here.
Yeah, no, it was... Oh, wait, yeah, I can hear me. I was just making sure because my mic's a bit broken. But yeah, no, very happy with that. Especially after a good bit of bad luck through this series. I'm happy that I came out third this one.
And you've beaten Thomas, which is, I know, one of the main aims.
Sorry?
You've beaten your teammate, which is one of the main aims.
Ah, yeah, sure. He just binned it. He did. He's not the greatest, driver.
It's unusual, actually. It's rare that we get a meeting where he's not on the podium. But coming back to you, so doing well with the sprinting. When's the next real world sprint event or drift or whatever you're up to next?
It wasn't really. It's not like there's RSA, but I don't do that. But this is just a fun sprint that happens once a year.
Okay.
And yeah, I was in my micro, 1.4 micro, and I bet I was the fastest car on track.
Yeah.
That wasn't a buggy or a kick car. And
wow.
In my class, my micro's 90 horsepower, let's just say. The guy behind me was in a Starlet, and he had 240.
Well done, fella. Good stuff. And we need to get you to... I said we were going to get you talking to the Irish legends, guys. We need to get you talking to the Irish Formula Ford guys as well. And get you out there, because the Irish have got a real strong tradition in motor racing generally, but particularly in Formula Ford. So my thing, I know Alan Bowles would like to see it. Geoff Page would probably like to see it as well, to get Daniel Heaps at the festival one year. That would be something.
Yeah, I'd love to have a go at these cars in real life.
And you proved it'd be good. And also, it was really good there because you were, I mean, Gabe, who's championship leader, was trying to get on terms with you, and then you seemed to sort of manage to deal with that, and then he got embroiled in his own battle. So it was a really good, solid one. You had to fight for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm very happy with how it went. I started doing some really good laps near the end, and yeah, overall it was just very, very decent to us.
That's good. Well done. Congratulations on P3, Daniel, and we look forward to catching up with you. I won't catch up with you next week because I'm not here, but I'll catch up with you at Snetterton, and Jack Oliphant will catch up with you next week at Donington Park. But well done, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. And on to P2, Miles Ragg. Welcome back to the podium, Miles Ragg. Well done. A catch up with you. And was that a relatively quiet race for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as a boring race, but I'd say as they go, that was perhaps one of the more tranquil ones. I would say I spent it sort of spending most of the race just trying new things with the car, just sort of using it as a little test session to figure some things out. I'd say I made some progress, but yeah, I'd say that was the aim of it, and then obviously just make sure that I didn't lose too much time to the people behind whilst experimenting.
Some decent racing, and you were right in the mix with things in the first two races as well, which Geoff Page and myself were saying a lot of it was typical Formula Ford action earlier on.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. Yeah, no, I mean a bit disappointed I couldn't get further up in the first race, but you know, that's how it goes. And in the second race, it was just a little bit of unfortunate contact going into cops, and it happens. Especially in these kind of cars, have had it in real life now. We've had it plenty in the sim, so it's yeah, no, it's definitely good fun. Definitely good fun.
That's good. Well, well done, and great to have you on the podium again. I look forward to many more of those. You'll probably get to talk to someone different next week, Miles, so you can enjoy that as it's my week away. But congratulations on a very good P2, and we look forward to catching up with you again a little bit later on in the series.
Thanks very, very much. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, Miles. All the best. So let's go on to our race winner, and yeah, doubly race win of the campaign, and we can never ever discount Jack Smith. Although Jack, you were so far ahead that you were sort of out of mind as far as we were concerned, and it wasn't right off the front, was it? You had to come through. Was it sort of mid to rear grid that you worked your way through? But well done on the win. And what's the story?
Yeah, no, race 1 and 2, absolute mess. Yeah, just got into unfortunate incidences that I could not avoid. I was checking the replays. I was like, surely it could have done something different, and then looked, and it's just one of them where you have no other route other than to just go into the collision. So yeah, it was just cars in front of me. Race 2, I had really bad suspension. My best 45 degrees down for most of it, so to come back to 14 for that one was a miracle. So yeah, really happy with that to be able to get that out of that. And then yeah, race 3, I just went to get to the front, and then yeah, just go from there really. And we did it. Really consistent laps. I think I didn't drop maybe half a tenth between laps for the whole race, so it was really good. Probably one of my better drives, even though you might not have seen any of it. But yeah, I think it may have been one of my best drives, sure. So yeah, really happy.
That's good. Always good to see you get a win, and you're okay, fully recovered from. I mean, I think you were last week, but no ills or anything to worry about this week.
No, other than ballast. I'm joking. But yeah, no, all good. So yeah, just trying to figure out what I need to do different to get through turn 1, first 2. But yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out. And it's Donny next, so hopefully we make some progress.
Yeah, a 30-car reverse grid Formula Ford race going into Redgate. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think I might stick to Chad on that one. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're gonna get the hot lap video up. We're gonna do a few more laps now. Hot lap rounds as well. So I'm gonna be well versed going into the next few races.
Oh, that'll be good. I was just looking for the hop cabin graphic, but it's on the back of the car, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. Everyone at the hop cabin. I'm sure most of them are watching. All my family.
That they are. We haven't organised the dinner dance there yet, have we? But I think we need to get on the case and sort something out at some point.
Yeah, no.
That's good. But nice one. Well done, Jack. Nice to have you on the winners' podium. And good luck for next week. I'll be watching next week, even though I won't be on the mic. So have a great time and good luck.
No. Cheers, Rich.
Which just leaves our driver of the round. Well, it's a little bit of brotherly love here. Well done to our Geoff Page engineering driver of the round, which goes to Oliver Gibson. Well done, Ollie.
Cheers. Yeah, I don't know how I've got it, but thank you.
Geoff actually said he could probably repeat himself now, so I'll bring Geoff back into the mix. Geoff Page himself. What were the qualities that you mentioned, Geoff?
Well, I just think that it was good racing, good car control, good throttle control, and a lot of respect for the guys around you. You know, you could have made your car a lot wider in a few places, but no, full respect to everybody, and very smooth. So very impressive. Well done. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. It genuinely might be. I know. I just.
Always nice about you.
No, I know. No, I always just try and give. Obviously, you know, in racing, you want to leave as little space as possible. I always think, you know, it is, you know, people do take this seriously and whatnot, but it's, you know, I'm doing it for a bit of fun, some experience and stuff. So I always just feel bad if I take someone out because they probably put more effort in than me. So I just always like to leave that little extra bit. But yeah, no, just how I like to drive, to be honest. But
like I say, full respect and really smooth, really good, very impressive. Have you done any real world racing?
No, never anything. Just I did a kart race sort of the end of last year, and that was my first real life race. So
whereabouts was that?
Wilton Mill for uni. Yeah, in Club 100. So
yeah.
And it was
How did you get on? How did you get on with the Wilton Mill event?
It was okay. It was my first time in the wet as well, so my first race and first time in the wet. So it was all sort of just the worst combo ever. So, but no, it was all right. It's just tricky at first when you go out. It's just no grip. Obviously, the tires are cold, the track's just so slick. So it's really just experience. But hopefully, I'm just going to try and do as much karting now as possible. And I've got a 24-hour race coming up in June that Jack's going to be racing in as well in the same karts, but up in Teesside. So yeah, just going to try and get as much experience as possible, and obviously this helps as well. So hopefully by the end of the year I'll be a great, well, hopefully a better driver. But I don't want to toot my own horn too much. So but yeah, no, plenty of practice needed.
Yeah, you need to somehow get yourself in a proper Formula Ford real time on a circuit that you've been running on in this championship. So you already know the track. You haven't got to learn the track; just learn the car.
That would be a dream come true. To be honest, I'd love to even just drive a race car for a lap. So I know that would be nice, but we'll see. If anyone has a spare car, please give me a shout. Or even Jack as well, because Jack is he's just unbelievable. So and I've got so much to learn from him still. So, but that would be an absolute dream come true. So
yeah, well, you know what they say. All good things come to those that wait.
Absolutely, yeah.
How old are you now?
18. I'm going to be 19 in May. So
good effort. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting on a bit now.
Yeah. Congratulations for today. That was a really, really good driving in from difficult situations as well.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, and thanks to Geoff for chatting with Oliver as well, our driver of the round. Super race, and what a great race he had with championship leader Gabriel Norse and Leon Frost as well in the closing stage. That race. Hats off to all of them for some super racing. I think it leaves us with Gabe Norse unofficially here leads by 21 points. Good lead going into Donington Park. Scott Bugner on 149. Kieran Haynes still third on 136 with Jack Smith joint fourth with Luke Cooper, who's been very fast and consistent. Ollie Gibson, we heard from there, is in sixth from Andy Dorman and Lee Pearce, who had a good day. Rich Hayden ninth. Chris Blakey wraps up our top 10. Miles Ragg just outside the top 10 in 11th. I keep seeing more names that I want to check further down, but I'll be here all night if I do that. What I will do though is say a massive thank you to the three other names that you can see on screen. Clark, of course, Ian Dan, our broadcast director Steve Allen for another great job, and Geoff Page. Geoff, obviously we get to chat at the circuits every now and again. Thank you for all you do in terms of the racing championships, in terms of support, and particularly for being here tonight. It's been a real, genuine pleasure. Third week on the bounce that, you know, it's been an absolutely mega job, mate. And thanks so much. And we'll do it again.
Well, Richard, I can only say to yourself, you know, and also Alan, who's I know he's watching or listening. You know, Alan Bowles has brought me into this, and with his help, I've got more and more involved in the last few years. I do it. There's no commercial aspect for me for this. It's purely for the fun and because I love it.
Nice one. Well, we love it too, and love having you around. And our very best wishes till we catch up again. Look forward to seeing you on the grid. Was it Brands in April?
Well, that's the plan with the Zeus. Yeah,
that'll be mega. I'll be there at some point with camera and a cup of tea probably as well. That's pretty trademark. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But thanks again, Geoff, and yeah, a big thanks to Alan Bowles and Rich Hayden for putting it all together. So that's it from us for this week. Next week, your co-commentator will be another young gun, actually, from the world of Formula Ford. Harrison Morrow will be co-commentator for Jack Oliphant, who makes his VRRC return. So thanks, Jack, for filling in for me. Look forward to listening in to that from wherever I end up next week on holiday. But to all of you, thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks for some great racing. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you again soon.
Between the two of them.
The inside of coats.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.